When Jane and Alan Palmer come across a suitcase full of money, they're afraid, but they also see an opportunity. Jane knows they're middle-class poor, living on debt and trying to grab a piece of the American dream that everyone seems to be getting in post-World War II California. Complications arise when Danny Fuller, the man who stole the money in the first place, tracks them down to confront Jane, but she quickly reveals she has no intention of just giving it all back to another crook. With the suitcase being held in LA's main railroad station, she begins planning on how to throw Danny off them and keep the money. Events take a lethal turn, and Jane finds herself minus one husband and with a lot more trouble, especially when Alan's sister and one of his war buddies come to check on him. Jane has to act fast, but she knows one thing: no one is going to take that money from her. Lizabeth Scott's performance as Jane is the real centerpiece of Too Late for Tears. Mild spoilers for a film that's more than 70 years old, but the heart of the movie is the slow reveal that Jane is the protagonist and the villain. The ways in which she can plan and then improvise as her strategies change to meet the circumstances is incredible. You don't know it right away, thinking at worst she's just materialistic. But through her actions, we see that she's always been morally compromised and will use anyone to try to achieve her own ends. Jane goes way beyond being a femme fatale and is absolutely malicious and conniving in ways that continue to shock throughout the whole movie. Every time she interacts with another character, you wonder how much of anything she says is part of an act meant to manipulate the other characters, and if she's already planning on how to eliminate them. Along with the gradual reveal of Jane's character, we also see the other characters are not exactly who they claim or aren't who they make themselves out to be. Alan Palmer gets on his high horse and moralizes to his wife about the obviously suspicious money they've acquired. But for all his sermonizing, he doesn't take any of the right steps that he talks about, like informing the police. Danny Fuller acts the part of a tough guy who wants his money back, but when pressed, his true nature is much more desperate and less vicious than he acts. Similarly, Don Blake's sudden appearance to check on his old war buddy raises red flags to all the characters who are already on their guard. It's easy to see that one of the thematic drivers of the film is the dissonance between who people appear to be and who they are underneath that exterior. In addition, there are plenty of standard noir themes. The desire to have the money and advancement that seems to be everywhere in post-war America is an understandable temptation to many of the characters. Also, the case filled with $60,000 literally lands in Jane and Alan's laps. They'd be fools not to take it and use it wisely for themselves. Wouldn't they? This notion, of course, goes back at least as far as the Pardoner's Tale in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, so it isn't exclusive to noir, but the setting gives it a distinctly mid-20th century American texture. Similarly, as with many noir stories, Too Late for Tears shows the enticement and perils of using legally dubious methods to achieve a better life because, almost invariably, they backfire. All the riches and freedom characters thought they were going to have is replaced by constant tension, paranoia, and increasingly unethical actions. For some viewers, I can understand if they think the plot is too busy. The premise starts simple. Woman wants to keep a suitcase full of money. But each step forward is met with complications to the point where it might be too twisty for the likes of people who prefer their noir straight up and hard-boiled. I'd say the many twists certainly give Jane more to worry and scheme about, so it might be worth not concentrating on the plot as much as seeing all the obstacles as proof as how far Jane is willing to go in pursuit of her goal. Is there no one she won't manipulate and double-cross to keep that money? In some respects, the plot is a canvas for uncovering Jane's sinister character. But what do you, the audience at home, think? Are you familiar with Too Late for Tears? Where do you think it ranks among the classics of film noir? What else are you watching for Noirvember? Feel free to share your thoughts and recommendations in the comments. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my peculiar notions. If you appreciate this channel and want to support it, you know what to do. You can also take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel of another YouTube creator you enjoy, or the algorithm will trick you into drinking poison. Until next time, watch some good film noir. Live and be well.